Okay, we're testing a Berkley Trilene Big Game 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line. 4, 5. Against the P-Line Tactical fluorocarbon fishing line. Also 17-pound fishing line. The orange fishing bead represents the Berkley Trilene. The green fishing bead represents the P-Line. We're going to have 1 bead for the first round, 2 beads for the second round, and 3 beads for the third round. Now let's see how this P-Line Tactical measures up to this Berkley Trilene. Got the orange fishing bead representing the big game, and 1 fishing bead represents the top of the first round. Let's give it a go. Okay, there you can see the break on the force gauge. There's a close-up look at what it looks like on the table. There you see the break. And that Berkley Big Game 17-pound fishing line broke at 14.9 pounds of pull force tension in the top of the first round. Let's go to the P-Line. This time we're in the bottom of the first with the P-Line Tactical fluorocarbon fishing line. It's 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line, so this meter should reach at least 17 pounds. The big game only reached 14.9 in the first inning, so let's see what happens here. Okay, in the bottom of the first inning, broke at 18.3. There's a quick look at the force gauge. Now we're going to put it on the table for you. Get a quick look at it. And there's a look at it on the table. So let's write that down, 18.3. Now let's go to the top of the second with the Berkley Trilene 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line. Okay, here we go. In the top of the second round, represented by 2 fishing beads. The orange fishing beads represents the Berkley Trilene Fluoro. All right, let's give it a whirl. Okay, in the top of the second with the Berkley 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line, that broke at 14.7 pounds of pull force tension. And there's what it looks like on the gauge. There's the swivel at the bottom. And there's the top. Let's put it on the table for you. Okay, there's what it looks like on the table. And remember, I paint the tip of the tag with black marker so you can tell where the tag is. So that's 14.7 in the top of the second. Let's go to the bottom of the second with the P-Line. Okay, here we go. In the bottom of the second round, represented by 2 fishing beads. The green fishing bead represents the P-Line Tactical. Let's stretch it out. Okay, there you can see the P-Line broke at 15.2 pounds of pull force tension. There's the bottom of the rig. And there's the top. Let's put it on the table for you. There she is on the table. And there's what you got. So that's 15.2 in the bottom of the second with the P line. Okay, here we go in the top of the third there. 3 fishing beads. The orange fishing bead represents the Berkley Trilene. Let's stretch it out and see what we get. Okay, there in the top of the third round, you can see the Berkley 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line broke at 15.3 pounds of pull force tension. Let's put her on the table. That's what she looks like on the table there. Top of the third was 15.3. Go to the bottom of the third round with the P line. Okay, here we go in the bottom of the third. Green fishing bead represents the P line tactical fluorocarbon fishing line. 17 pounds. Let's give it a whirl. Oh. Okay, there you see in the bottom of the third, the P line, 17-pound fluorocarbon P line, broke at 15.5 pounds of pull force tension. There you see the swivel on the top. That's what she looks like on the table. Remember, the end of the tags are marked with black Sharpie. So that's something to consider when you're looking at these rigs breaking. Once again, that broke at 15.5 pounds of pull force tension. Let's do some abrasion testing now. Now we're going to check the abrasion resistance of this Berkley Trilene Big Game 17-pound fluoro against this P-line tactical fluoro, also 17 pounds.
I'm going to lose him. He's going to wrap around the pole. There he goes. It's going to break.
The orange bead represents the Big Game. One bead represents round one. Down and up is one cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cycles. Top of the first with the Berkley Trilene Big Game. I'm going to write that down. 5 cycles. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the first with the P-line tactical represented by the green fishing bead. One bead represents round one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cycles also on the P-line. Now we're going to the top of the second round represented by 2 fishing beads. The orange fishing bead represents the Berkley Trilene Big Game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow, 18 on that. On the top of the second, 18 cycles. Now we're going to the bottom of the second with the P-line. 17-pound fluoro. 1, 2, 3. 4 cycles there in the bottom of the second. Now we're going to the top of the third. Berkley Trilene Big Game fluoro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 cycles with the big game in the top of the third. Now we're going to the bottom of the third. 3 fishing beads. Green fishing bead represents the P-line tactical. See what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cycles on the P-line. Now let's move on to the next test. So now we're going to see if the diameter of these fishing lines are true to the label. First, we're going to check the Berkley Trilene 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line. And on this label, the diameter should be 0.016 thousandths of an inch. 16 thousandths of an inch. There you can see 16 thousandths of an inch. Here you can see the calipers are zeroed out. Now we're going to check the line diameter. There we have 17 thousandths of an inch. Let's pull some more line out and check it again. There you can see we have 17 thousandths of an inch. So here the label rating is 16 thousandths of an inch, and we actually measured 17 thousandths of an inch. Let's check the P-line. So here they're saying the P-line should measure 0.0154 thousandths of an inch. So let's see how this measures up. Here you can see our caliper verniers are zeroed out, measuring. That measures 16 thousandths of an inch. Check it again. Sixteen thousandths of an inch. Let's pull it out and check up the line a little bit. Sixteen thousandths of an inch. So here you can see the P-line measured 16 thousandths of an inch. And we'll go over these numbers at the end. Here we're just going to do a quick coil comparison of the fishing line. We're just basically going to pull the line out and let it recoil back and compare the two and see if we can see anything. So here we got the Berkley Trilene Big Game 17-pound fluorocarbon fishing line. And we're going to pull that out and just let it recoil back. Pull that out and let it recoil back. There we got the P-line. We're going to pull that out and just let it snap back. Try it again. P-line, pull it out. And let that snap back. So here you can see the P-line does look a little softer than the Berkley, but it's pretty close. Okay, let's try each line. Let's tie a fishing knot and see how it feels. Do a quick uni. Bring that around. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put that line. Put it again. Pull the main line. Cut your tag. That felt pretty good. No problems with that. This is the Berkley Trilene Big Game Fluoro. Let's see how the P-line feels when we tie a knot. Once again, we'll tie the uni knot. Go through the eye of the swivel. Loop it around. Give it 5 quick twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wet the line. Pull the main line. Cut the tag. Always leave about a 1/4 inch tag. Allow for that to slip a little or pull. It feels really good. They both feel good. Both fluorocarbon. So we're going to write this down for the coil comparison, that they're similar and we see no major difference between the two. Okay, let's do a cost comparison. For the Berkley Trilene Big Game Fluoro, 17 pounds, I paid $10.87 for 350 yards. For the P-Line Tactical, also fluorocarbon fishing line, 17 pounds, I paid $32.78 for 200 yards. So the cost per yard, the Berkley was $3.11 per 100 yards, and the P-line was $16.39 per 100 yards. So here you can see the P-line costs a lot more than the Berkley Trilene. Okay, let's review the final results of these tests. For the Berkley Trilene strength test, in round 1, the line broke at 14.9 pounds. Round 2, the line broke at 14.7 pounds. Round 3, the line broke at 15.3 pounds, for an average of 14.9 pounds. The P-line in round 1 broke at 18.3 pounds. Round 2, it broke at 15.2 pounds, and round 3, it broke at 15.5 pounds, for an average breaking strength of 16.3 pounds. So for the tensile strength test, the P-line did better. For the abrasion testing, the Berkley Trilene in round 1 went 5 cycles. Round 2 went 18 cycles. Round 3 went 18 cycles, for an average cycles of the 3 tests of 13.6. For the P-line, in round 1 it went 5 cycles. Round 2 it went 4 cycles. And round 3 it went 4 cycles, for average cycles of 4.3. This is totally unacceptable for fluorocarbon fishing line. The main reason we buy fluorocarbon fishing line is for the abrasion resistance, and this is well below par. For the coil comparison, the P-line did slightly better than the Berkley Trilene. Both fishing lines tied up nice when tying a uni knot. But for the tensile strength, the P-line won. For the abrasion resistance test, the Berkley won. For the cost, the Berkley won. P-line is crazy expensive. For the diameter, the P-line won slightly. We're calling the overall winner the Berkley Trilene Big Game Fluorocarbon over the P-Line Fluorocarbon Tactical. And the main reason we're calling the Berkley over the P-Line is this abrasion testing is totally unacceptable for the P-Line. Now it's time for you to give us your review of these tests. Let us know what you think.